I'm going to show you my trades from today as I make my way back from a devastating loss last week. I think there's one trade in particular you're going to want to really pay attention to. You got to decide if I should have won that or should have lost that. That will be your call. Okay, so here we are. We're looking around and we're actually going to start out with the CAD Franc. See it coming down to a support and get into a call. What I don't like about this is there's a pretty strong move going down to the support. And you can even see that lower high going into it. But I did decide to get into this. You can see it just bouncing off my strike price there. And here at this last second, end up getting a loss on that. So moving over to the euro pound, comes up to a resistance, and I decide to get into my next trade there, increasing my trade size just a little bit. Comes up to that resistance. It's starting to come down, but it is playing around with my strike price and ultimately moving against me, but then does come back and get me into the money for a little bit. And what do? I actually tie that one. Little bit annoying. If I was a second or two later, I would have gotten a win. But if I was like 3 or 4 seconds later, I would have gotten a loss. So then I move over to the CAD Franc again as that comes back up to a resistance, get into a trade. I actually stay with the same trade size because I tied that last one. So there's no reason to increase my trade size here. And that one starts moving in my favor really nicely to ultimately get that win. And then I move over to the Aussie CAD. As that comes up to that resistance, a very, very long move going into that resistance. And it is kind of struggling up there, trying to push a bit higher, trying to come back down. It doesn't really know what it's going to do yet, but ultimately it is starting to move nicely in my direction. But the Aussie CAD, it can do kind of whatever it wants, and I do end up getting that win. And then come over here to euro dollar. I really like this euro dollar trade, but it does start to move against me for a little bit. And this one, you're going to kind of want to watch a little bit. And you're going to have to determine for yourself what you think actually happened here. And you can see I'm a little bit in the money now here. And then I think I won that one, but you can see there was a loss. I have to wait to see what I end up doing with that one. I get into another trade here. And on that same euro dollar, as it moves up a little bit higher, there's just a lot of upward movement here on the euro. There was a lot of news going on, especially the Fed rate decision yesterday, caused the market to just be really pretty jumpy. So it's very difficult trading conditions. I did get a loss here. Again, I increased my trade size a little bit, put it on for another one because I did quite like where it was. And that one also just really starts moving against me, but it does start to come back down. And I'm like, oh, yes, great, cool, I got in the money. Oh, yeah, okay, back in the money, out of the money. And then it starts moving against me, ultimately for a loss. And here I just jump right back into it. Didn't even have time to adjust my trade size. So I just jumped in with 3 more trades at the same size to then see that it is starting to move in my direction. I am liking this overall. It's continuing to move there. And then I get the win there for a really nice profit on the day. All right, it's nice to be back on the winning side of things, scraping my way back from that loss. And I want to encourage you that we have our free course that we offer you. It's got the entire strategy and money management. Just go to binarymasterclass.com and you can download it for free there. And also there's some really special things coming up next week because next week is my birthday. And instead of me getting presents, you're getting presents. So make sure you're watching for that. And let's see each other in the trading room.